Góðan daginn and welcome to the Project Pal. My name is Gunnhildur. I'm in Iceland, I live in Iceland, and this is my podcast, vlog, chat type of thing called the Project Pal because I have projects and they are in piles that I just keep adding to. I talk about knitting, crocheting, yarn, anything fiber related when I learn about those because fiber is really interesting and some of the things that people do with them. And because I'm your stereotypical middle-aged Icelander, I also talk about the weather and about the season because I'm Icelandic. Listen, okay, let's start with the weather. Because on Friday it decided to be just a little bit insane. Friday was actually the start of Thori, which is one of the old lunar months in the old Icelandic calendar. One of the better known months because that's also the beginning of Thori is always on a Friday. I'm not gonna get more into that because the calculations of when the old months begin is a bit complicated. I mean, it's not complicated when you understand them, but I don't, so there's that. Thugly, for example, always begins on a Friday on a particular time. And I'm not so sure that I can translate what Thugly is because we don't actually know. There are theories and stories, but we don't really know what Thugly means. Other than culturally, it means that it's the last of the hard winter months. If you get through Thugly, then you're gonna get through the rest of the winter. So yeah, so Thugly began on Friday, which is generally is also called Bondadagur or Farmer's Day or Husband's Day, which is mostly dedicated to husbands and farmers, where people generally hold a blót, which is from the old traditions. Blót, in common vernacular, blót most often refers to cursing. You know, when you're cursing, you are a blóta. But the old meaning is a certain celebration when you with food and drink, and it's a certain occasion basically. I know I'm not explaining this perfectly, but because I didn't do research just before, I'm very hesitant of trying to explain something if I don't quite currently understand it enough to properly explain. But blót is a certain festival that is celebrated at certain times, like Thora blót. There's also spring and winter, you know. And on Thori, yes, Thora blót, that's generally when people are eating what I'm sure most of you can recognize as traditional Icelandic cuisine. Definitely from the travel brochures, and whenever someone is talking about Iceland, they always mention the sheep head, the testicles, and all of that fun. Ah yeah, and shark. Definitely the shark. There's also fish jerky and all sorts of like traditional cuisine. And that's the food that people eat on this day. Thorblot, that's generally when you eat the traditional foods, sour food a lot, and there are most often there are also committees that have like stories and jokes from the community, riffing on each other, and the entertainment communities will be gathering jokes, something that pretty much everyone is aware that has happened within the community and people can laugh about. That's the most important thing, that people can laugh and laugh together. And yeah, it's basically like we're getting through this type of thing. And the thing about the sour food is that we don't eat that nowadays. We have fresh food available. We are really, really well set off considering that. But most people will elect to eat at least once a year. I don't, because I can't stomach it unfortunately. But most people will eat it at least once a year. Because it's cultural, and actually some people do generally like this food. Just not for my taste. And it is a good reminder of just how good we have it right now. To voluntarily eat something that isn't a first choice if you have anything else to eat, and to voluntarily eat that type of food, it is a really, really good reminder of just how good you have it right now. So it is something that really, really needs to be maintained, because we need to keep it in mind. We didn't always have fresh food. We didn't always have strawberries in December, or watermelons in January, or bananas the whole year. So yeah. But yeah, there's also the weather, because the weather on Friday, on Thorri, the first day of Thorri, decided to be absolutely insane. We got another, just the entire country was in yellow. We were on stage yellow warning. Because we got a flash heat wave. So Friday began in my town at -3 Celsius. And we ended at +7 Celsius. Meaning that the entire year, the entire country, we began the day white. Everything was covered in snow. And at the end of the day, when it was windy and raining, I was lucky enough that I met someone very, very kind who agreed to come pick me up when my working day was over, because I'm like, if I try to walk home, I don't know if at what point I will blow home. Because it was nasty. And I'm so happy that this person agreed to drive me home, because my street, my little incline, it had turned from a fairly nice street in the morning to this layer of ice with rainwater over it. So it was just accident waiting to happen. The fact that I haven't heard about anyone having accidents so far this winter, I've heard a few now. I know of like 2-3 people in the past weeks who managed to fall. Haven't heard about anyone from Friday, which I'm so surprised about, because the weather was nasty and the ice was just. And yeah, I actually heard about some of my neighbors here, at least 2 cars, before I got, while I was still at work, I heard about this. So there were 2 cars, mind you, no one got injured. There might be a slight scraping on the cars, but they weren't at any speed. So everything apparently happened very, very slow motion, but neither driver had any control because of the ice. So there were 2 cars. I basically just slowly drifted together. And the poor drivers just had time to be like, I'm sorry, I don't have any control. It's like kind of comical, but at the same time really scary. Like, you are driving your car but you don't really have control. But thankfully they weren't at any speed. It could have gone horribly, but it didn't, so we are going to be grateful for that. And yeah, I'm looking at the mountain pass, but unfortunately it's been cloudy. It was cloudy on, didn't get any sun on Friday because the weather was piss pouring. Yesterday, still cloudy, didn't really see anything. Today is getting cloudy, in the past. Oh, but one good thing about this season is because it's so cold, we are getting glitter clouds. I have learned the word in English, but it's absolutely impossible for me to pronounce. So I'm not gonna try to. I tried to film this morning when I saw an absolutely gorgeous cloud just over my mountains, just over the mountains in my fjord. But unfortunately this camera can't pick it up, and I'm really sad because the colors were absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna try and see if I can find a picture online to show you what I'm talking about, just so you can see just what I'm talking about. But this is one of the best things about this season, is looking up and the sky is this ice cold pale blue, and then you have this just faint absolutely fine clouds that are just this pastely strong pastel colored rainbows, and I love them. They are gorgeous. Absolutely cold and generally windy when you see them, so it's not a pleasant experience physically to see them, but oh good lord, how they just affect you mentally. And yeah, so this is called the Persian Pal, and I'm not gonna do gushing about the weather. But okay, so where do I begin? Sad news. I had to frog my lacy bandana last night because I realized I'd made a crucial error. I mean, I've cast on new. I remember there were 3 stitches that you begin with, so I did manage to cast that on. The thing is that when I was starting the lace pattern proper, I read half of the sentences, and I don't know how I managed, because I saw the first part of the sentence and I followed that, but somehow I didn't notice that there was the rest of the sentence, and yeah, so I had to frog my bandana. But the good news is it wasn't as hard to frog as I was concerned about, because it's so you know, the yarn is, you know, like this is really fuzzy, but it wasn't that difficult. I simply went slowly and carefully, and yes, the hairs did catch together and sometimes I would have to pull, but on the whole not that bad, and I did not have to break the thread at any point. So that's the good news. At least now I know that frogging it isn't that huge of a business. I need to restart it, but that just means that I'm learning more about it, so I'm gonna look on the bright side. I'm gonna try my best to do at least something with the bandana today, so that I can get back on track with it. So I'm not gonna mope about it. I really want to, but not going to, because I'm gonna look at this as a learning experience. First off, I've learned that frogging the alpaca isn't that difficult, and now I am aware that at sometimes I simply just don't see all of the instructions, despite having read them. The other good news, well, other good news, I mean that is good news, is that I found my inband to make one of the jumpers that I've been talking about for forever. This one. I've been thinking about this one way too much, and I need to get working on it. Like, the instructions are just 1 page, and it's a really simple one. You knit from the bottom up, and I mean, Look at it. The pattern is gorgeous. It's fairly simple, and yeah, I really need to get working on it. Just something kind of brainless. Another one. I love those type of projects. But I've been thinking about this way too much. The fact that I had so much trouble getting these colors and then I just put them in the bag. It's just, need to work on this. Particularly when you start thinking about a certain project a lot, you should probably be, getting on with it. And then there's the cocoon cardigan. I'm not sure how much exactly I need to knit with the square. Is that square? Well, how much I'm gonna need, but I've got this much done, and I've actually got started on my second ball of yarn. I'm not sure just how much yarn there's gonna be. I've got half of a bag like this left that I've gotten started on. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have enough yarn to make a skirt to go with, so I mean, so I'm not worried about that. Also, this yarn is it's such a delight to work with. But yeah, this is yarn that I got off of Ice Yarns, I think about 2 years ago, from their winter sale page. So I really doubt that it's available anymore. And because of how Ice Yarns structure their site, that when they put something on sale, it kind of like loses its name, which is really honestly rather bizarre. Like they seem to recreate their yarns, right? So they don't always have extreme basics, like always. They like seem to rotate everything. I think pretty certain that they do it like that. So when they put something on sale, you don't have the original name of the yarn. You get sale winter, sale mohair, sale summer, something like that, but you don't get the original name of the yarn. So once it's gone, it's gone. For example, my absolute favorite yarn that they used to make, Fantasia. Yeah. But on the other hand, I haven't dared to check their website for like the past year because I know that I'm gonna fall into temptation, and I don't need that. I need to get working on the things that have been meaning to work on. Having said that, she says, but I'm not exactly on a yarn diet. I'm on a restricted diet because I keep buying yarn from my local yarn store. Even though I have plans for that yarn, it's still like so I went to knit night past Thursday, which was absolute delight. Not that many people, but it was so nice to just sit down, have a chat, eat some good food, and just knit, and just getting on with things, seeing what other people are making, hear stories, little bit of gossip. But the good thing about this group is that they aren't huge gossips. They are sharing information when that comes up, but they don't gossip about people, and I really appreciate that. So it's more like, how is this person doing? This person who is expecting a baby, and it's usually to do with their own families. I haven't I really haven't heard them like talking behind someone's back. They aren't negative about people who aren't there, which I really, really appreciate. Because if it was toxic, I would not be able to stay there. But speaking of attending Knit Night, so at one point, I think I was going to the bathroom, or getting back from the bathroom, and I spot this lovely, lovely basket on the floor. And of course, that's a new basket, so I go check it out. And I see yarn. This chenille yarn in so many absolutely gorgeous colors. This is DMC Happy Chenille, right? So obviously I'm like, dear Lord, I really want to. Chenille is so soft and delightful. These are 15-gram skeins. They are about 38 meters or 41 yards. They are DK Light, UK 11, 3mm knit needles, USA, just guess that's line. Crochet hooks is 3mm, UK 11, USA D/3. Should be able to see the label. But yeah, so this is a DMC yarn. And I'm like, obviously I bought some. But I did start with Googling DMC Happy Chenille. And I straight away noticed that they've mostly been like little figures, right? Crochet, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. I find a lovely, lovely little picture. So, I'm being tackled by yarn. Funny. Right. So I find I'm gonna show the colors that I got. Right. Not the most extravagant colors. There was like this popping neon green. This is base color. I got 5 of these. Because so the proprietor, she's like checking the table, and I go like, ooh, show her the picture that I found, and she goes, I have that booklet. So she has these booklets. So there are 3 booklets. One of this unicorn, tapir, narwhal, the llama, and the phoenix. And then there's another with little dinosaurs. That's absolutely cute. And then this one with this style. There was a pig, little dog, a cat, and 2 others. There's always 5 in each booklet. And initially I was like, ooh, the unicorn is really cute. But then I noticed the llama, and I'm like, llama drama, I'm getting the llama. Didn't quite have the correct base color. Llama is called Linda. So the base color is 010, but the color was available was number 11. I think the others were the correct ones. Just quickly checking because I think I found them all. Yeah, it was just the base color, but that's okay because there was the second one. So DMC, yeah. I'm pretty certain that is French and English, and then either one of those is Italian. I'm gonna guess that it's like Italian and Spanish. It's Latin language. I've never learned any Latin-based languages. I'm just guessing. based on what limited knowledge I managed to gather throughout my life. That is like Italian and Latin. Italian and Spanish. Latin based. But yeah, I absolutely fell in love with Linda. And it's going to be really interesting because I don't remember ever using, following a pattern that's quite like this. And also, in order to get like the fur effect, you have to crochet back in. So I need to figure that one out so that my Linda will be, the way she's supposed to be. But I think this is gonna be such an interesting like challenge for me. I mean, what are they most Okay, so we got a magic ring, double crochet, increase, decrease, chain, slip stitch, double crochet, BLO, increase BLO, decrease BLO. I have no idea what BLO is. I'm gonna need to figure that one out. But yeah, it does have, like, one it up, and it does show you which colors you're supposed to be using. Should probably not be showing you booklets, but So that's going to help. There's assembly, so it's going to be interesting. Yeah, and I use a 3mm crochet hook, which I do have. So I'm wondering if this might be something extra that I can keep in my project bag to bring with me to knit nights. So if I get tired of knitting, that I can just reach for the little llama. Well, I think that's a plan. So I got a crochet project and a knit project that I can reach for on project nights, so that would be lovely. But yeah, at least this is coming along nicely. But like I said, I haven't really got a concrete plan for how I'm going to, like how big I'm gonna make the part. But I think I'm gonna do like a ripping around so that it's like a little bit tighter and neater. And I need to restart the bandana. And I really want to get started on this jumper because I don't know, something about this season. Maybe it's the colors I was seeing in the clouds. That might be it. Because something about that is making me really think about this one. So I really want to get it done. Get started, get it done, get to wear it in this season. But yeah, I think that's enough from me this weekend. Hopefully you had fun watching me So a dog just met a dog. Tristan, I probably know at least one of the dogs, if not both of them. Yeah. Anyway, so what was it? Hopefully you had fun watching me being like very I can't remember what I was gonna say. It was probably some joke that I thought was funny, but then the dog started barking. Now I have no idea what I was gonna say. So I'm just gonna say thank you for watching. I will hopefully see you again next weekend. And hopefully I will have something other than just a mess of the bandana. And hopefully a better like plan with the cardigan. More done. I will definitely have more done by then. So yeah, I will thank you for watching this weekend. I will hopefully see you again next. We'll see where we'll be at that point. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Take care. And I really hope that life is as good to you as it can possibly be, and hopefully better. So take care. Bless.